With fans concerned that a star went missing and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for October 17th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Speaking about the booking of the Damage CTRL faction, former WCW star Conan said on his Keeping It 100 podcast, they invest a lot of time on these girls, and Dakota Kai has zero personality. She's got that Mike Pence personality, which is absolutely none. When she talks, she's crickets inside the tumbleweeds. There's nothing there, and these two girls have dragged Bayley down. They did nothing to make me want to see them. When talking about the angle involving the bloodline on SmackDown, former WWE writer Vince Russo mentioned on his podcast that Jey Uso should defeat Roman Reigns for the title. But now Sami is playing a character on a wrestling show, and he's different, and he's very, very entertaining. Now, if I looked at the cards that I have, Sami doesn't need to be a champion. He's over. If he continues to do what he's doing, he'll be over. I think Jey needs it. I think at this point, if we looked at Sami's way over, Roman's way over, so if you look at the big picture, Jey probably needs it more. So in this story, I would really concentrate on how to get Jey Uso over and get him to the next level and make him as valuable as the other two. That's what I would do. Taking to Twitter to celebrate his sobriety, former Impact Wrestling star Crist wrote, 2-year anniversary of being alcohol-free. When you struggled with alcohol abuse and you decided to take the necessary steps to get help or to make an effort to quit, to see yourself looking at a 2-year anniversary, it feels like you can accomplish anything. And that's exactly how I feel right now. I'm so happy and proud of myself, and the fact that no one can take this away from me is the best feeling on earth. To anyone that needs a little help or some guidance, don't hesitate to reach out. What helped me was wanting it for me, not anyone else. I feel like you have to want to stop. It can't be for someone else, it has to be for you. Touching on the possibility of an NWO reunion on Raw, Kevin Nash said on the Click This podcast, I would do anything that the spotlight was on Scott Hall. They wanted to do something at WrestleMania, but for me, it was just too soon. And depending on what they would want to do moving forward, it would depend. I don't want to break down on TV. I just had to go my happy place to get through this conversation. It's not time yet. I know that. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to that. On that same podcast, Nash would also touch on his friend Triple H being in charge of WWE Creative and noted a difference between him and former chairman and CEO Vince McMahon. No, he's not. It's just so not Paul. I mean, if you messed up to the degree where he was going to yell at you, I'm quite sure he'll make a mental note or actually make a note to himself and then bring it up after the show is over to that person one-on-one. To not browbeat them in front of his cohorts, because that's just, Speaking of Triple H, Shawn Michaels noted on the Ringer Wrestling show that he made everyone feel more at ease and happy in the company, saying, I would say it's no secret to anybody that there's a huge uplift in morale from top to bottom in WWE. Whether it's Raw or SmackDown or NXT, everybody's very excited for the future. Speaking on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast, Bobby Lashley recalled a storyline he presented to Vince McMahon saying, I told Vince a year ago, I think a year or two ago, I told him I want to do this character. He said, what is it? I said, if I get beat one time, I want to go into the severe depression and put on like 40, 50, 60, or 70 pounds and just be fat and then be a completely different character and then have like somebody like an MVP or somebody that's on my side kind of like pull me back and then have the crowd watch his transition position back to me. He said, there's no way you can do that. I said, man, I think I can. Talking about the TNT champion Wardlow, Jim Cornette noted on his podcast why the AEW star should strongly consider a jump to WWE. I can tell you in a heartbeat, Wardlow, you wouldn't like living in Connecticut, but you don't have to work in the office. You can live anywhere in the country you want and work for WWE. And Wardlow's goal, especially with what's been done to him over the last 3 months, should be to get to WWE as quickly as possible. He has the size, he has the look, he can talk enough now that he'll get better, and that is a tailor-made place for them to get him over if they were interested. And I don't know why they wouldn't be with his various attributes, and they would know a more focused approach than bringing him out on television and the people going crazy for him, and then him winning a program and then either hiding him or teaming him up with multiple other people. Or the other night, they put him in a match with Brian Cage, who physically makes him look less impressive and is so rotten, which is, we'll talk about that program here a little while, just diminishes the guy even when he's beaten him. People get up now for the power bombs. Not as much as they were, but they're still up for those. They were goddamn molten for the power bombs 3 months ago. Now they still like them, but they're making the fans trudge through goddamn high water to get to the power bombs with Wardlow. There's no focus. There's no plan. He's just been bouncing back and forth, doing all of and that I can't believe. If they want to get a guy over in WWE, they'll get him over, as evidenced by some of the guys they want to get over. You can't get away from them on their television. Talking about the backstage issues in AEW on the Universal Wrestling podcast, former WWE referee Mike Chioda said, I was shocked to see Cody go back. I really was. When Cody started with Tony Khan, this whole starting AEW, I was just shocked that Cody went back and Tony Khan let him go. So you knew there was things going haywire up on the top already before all of this. With Austin Theory seemingly losing every match he's been in since winning the Money in the Bank contract, Conan had this to say about it on his podcast. My theory on Theory is, I don't know if Hunter doesn't see the same thing as Vince because, bro, he has been taking a lot of losses, and this was a clean loss. Now, I talk about distractions and interferences, which they do too much, but this was like a clean loss to Gargano. So I don't know if they're gonna have him cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and get him all his heat back, and in the meantime he keeps doing jobs, but it just seems that's all he's been doing. Talking about Sami Zayn's role as the honorary Uce in the Bloodline, Dave Meltzer reported for the Wrestling Observer, since they've done Lesnar to death, got the stip with Riddle, who isn't pushed at top level anyway, even though he and Reigns did a great number, have not gotten past McIntyre, and Orton is still on the shelf with no return date known. They are back to no obvious title contenders for now. They do have Zayn for down the line, who is very popular, but at the end of the day, nobody is going to think he can beat Reigns either. Recalling a story about Shane McMahon apparently threatening to take the life of Bruce Pritchard, former head writer for WWE Brian Gewirtz wrote in his book, There's Just One Problem. Before she did her first on camera in the stands, Shane pulled Michael and Bruce aside. I just want you two to know, I love you both like family, but if anyone lays a hand on my sister, I will legitimately kill you. Just the type of thing you want to hear before leading a famous person into a drunken mob. Fans in Australia were looking forward to seeing Charlie Haas at All-Star Wrestling, but were disappointed when he did not show up, as the promotion issued this statement regarding his whereabouts. Good afternoon. First of all, we here at All-Star Wrestling Australia apologize about the lack of news in regards to the Charlie Haas situation. Our team, including social media team, have been making the 8-hour travel north for events, a casino in Evanshead today, and have been unable to get access to a computer until now. Yesterday, we were disappointed to find out that Charlie Haas, who was scheduled to appear appear for our October 14th, 15th, and 16th events did not arrive at his scheduled arrival time. Attempts to reach Charlie by our team and his management were not successful. We all were genuinely concerned about Charlie's well-being. We attempted to contact flight agencies, airlines, and even had a member of our staff waiting at the airport for Charlie for over 2 hours. We and his management still don't know the full story, but we do know is that Charlie did not board his flight to Australia and did not attempt to at any point. We apologize to the fans who came out to see Charlie and didn't get to see him. We will be refunding those who purchased individual meet and greet tickets next week. In an update, the promoter issued this statement. Yesterday, a promoter from Texas that works with Charlie regularly reached out to us informing us that he had spoken to Charlie and that Charlie is safe and they know where he is. Charlie's agent also informed us that it was a personal matter that the family was currently dealing with and that Charlie is fine. With Jeff Hardy being arrested in Florida for a DUI in June, PW Insider provided an update writing, Hardy has a pre-trial hearing for his DUI-related charges in Florida this Wednesday, October 19th. As we reported over the summer, Hardy's attorneys waived his right to a speedy trial and requested a hearing set for July be pushed back 60 days to assist in his defense. This Wednesday is the rescheduled hearing. Based on court records, Hardy is required to appear before the court for the hearing. When it comes to the status of those involved in the backstage brawl between CM Punk and the Elite following All Out, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that people are sitting here every week. You got people who think it's a work, but they're not told anything different because the company hasn't said anything. Nobody knows when they're coming back, including the people who are on suspension. Nobody knows anything of what's going on. Adam Page made a reference. These guys are coming back this week. Maybe it's a hint, but nobody knows. I mean, at some point, it's ridiculous, and you know, right there in the Ariel Helwani interview, Tony Khan has the chance. He was asked, and he could have said something like, we don't know when we're going to bring them back, but it's like nothing. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.